We'd like to welcome you tonight to the Coconino Community College Nursing Pinning Ceremony. We're grateful to have you here and so excited to see so many family, friends, and supporters and community members here with us. Before we begin tonight, I would like to read a statement acknowledging the land upon which this college is located. On behalf of Coconino Community College, we would like to express our gratitude and appreciation to the sacred land on which this educational institution resides. Sacred sites located within Coconino County include the San Francisco Peaks, Oak Creek Canyon, Sedona Red Rocks, the Colorado River, the Little Colorado River, the Colorado River Confluence, the Grand Canyon, and many more sites. This land has been inhabited by the Sonawa and ancestral Pueblo for thousands of years. Currently, the Zuni, Apache, Yavapai, Wallapai, Havasupai, Paiute, Dene, Hopi, and many other Arizona tribal nations recognize this land as a significant spiritual place. This sacred land is enriched with indigenous history and culture that lives on to this very day. We as a community with our CCC family and friends are very fortunate to live, work, and share this unique location. I invite you to stand now as our nursing graduates enter the room. Thank you. You may be seated. I'd like to welcome to the podium President Colleen Smith, President of Coconino Community College.
Thank you, Dr. Sutherland, our provost. Thank you all of you for joining us tonight in celebration of the amazing accomplishment of our nursing students. I want to just take a minute as I welcome you to also remind you about the kind of work that their professors do in teaching them. And it is really unbelievable, and I know because I have followed nursing professors around in the clinical aspect of their job. I've seen what they do. I've read nursing care plans, and I've seen the kinds of things that our nursing students have to do as far as their studies and the work that they do, and it is just, truly unbelievable. And I also want to let you know that I admire what you've chosen as a profession. I think it is so important to all of us that you have chosen this life of service. It's not something that everyone can do. And I know that within my own family, I've seen some amazing nurses and caregivers taking care of my father, my mother, in times of need, even in the loss of my father. And what I saw from those caregivers was that not only were they taking care of my father as he passed away, they were taking care of my mother as she watched the man that she had been married to for 50 years slowly slip away from her. And I am so grateful. So please know how much I admire what you've chosen to do for your profession. And please know that I just think you're amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you, President Smith. Before we proceed further, I wanted to just take a moment and recognize some of the folks who are here with us who have made this experience possible for our nursing graduates. We've met President Smith. I'm Nate Sutherland. I'm the Provost and Chief Academic Officer here at the college. Dr. Lisa Blank, if you'd please stand, is our Dean of Career and Technical Education. And not to discourage anybody, but you're welcome to hold your applause until we get through all of them, or we'll be here all night. Callie Goldberg, who just joined us as our Nursing and Allied Health Specialist. Go ahead and stand up, Callie, and turn around and wave. Ms. Sherry Rudd, Nursing Faculty and Interim Director of Nursing. Ms. Adrienne Poyer, Nursing Faculty here at CCC. So much for holding our applause, right? You guys are good, it's okay. Ms. Cecilia Wining, also nursing faculty here at CCC. Jennifer Kotelik, CNA faculty. Catherine Costa, nursing and allied health faculty and former director of the nursing program. Also wanted to recognize Cheryl Bloom, who is the president of the Coconino Community College Foundation Board. Sorry to call you out, Cheryl. Great supporter of the nursing program and of our other programs here at the college. Also wanted to recognize friends here from Guardian Medical Transport and others who are here in the audience. Thank you for joining us and being a part of this. I'm now going to turn the time over to our class representatives, Danielle Connell and Melanie Wright, who will give a few welcoming remarks, and then I will have an opportunity to introduce the keynote speakers. So Danielle and Melanie.
Welcome, friends and family, to the Class of 2022 Pinning Ceremony. We are so grateful for the support of our families and loved ones over these past 2 years. We thank you all for helping us to celebrate this huge milestone today. Beginning our nursing school experience in the middle of a worldwide pandemic was not an easy task. However, it did teach us very early in our nursing careers how important it is to remain patient and adaptable. From online learning to adjusting to the ever-changing CDC guidelines, we cannot give our class and professors enough praise for how well they handled it. No one really knows how tough nursing school is unless they've gone through it. Through late night studying, early morning exams, and long clinical days, those are only part of the nursing school experience. The other less talked about part is making friends who truly get you. The friendships and bonds we formed these last 2 years will last us a lifetime. Thank you to our families and our loved ones for the continued support. Thank you to our teachers for their kindness, patience, and wisdom. And thank you to the class of 2022 for being a part of this unforgettable experience that we all call nursing school. Thank you.
You may not know this, but Danielle and Melanie, as the class representatives, they get to do a lot of extra work in addition to all of their other nursing work, and they've been fabulous in that role, so thank you to both of them. It's my privilege now to introduce our keynote speaker for tonight. Nancy Hagerman recently retired as a full-time nursing faculty here at Coconino Community College, but that was just the very end of a very long and illustrious career, and I'm going to embarrass her, and she's already starting to kind of duck her head. Nancy actually started her professional life working for the National Park Service as a park ranger. She got her undergraduate degree, I believe, in ecology. Yeah, okay, close enough. So she had the opportunity to work for the Park Service. While she was working for the Park Service, she worked as an EMT and later went to paramedic training and became a paramedic while she was a park ranger. After that, she went to University of Nevada, Las Vegas for her Bachelor of Science in Nursing degree because being a paramedic and a park ranger was not enough. So she moved along. While she was there, she worked at the University of Medical Center in Las Vegas for a couple more years. And then with her husband, who also works for the National Park Service, was transferred to Lake Powell. Nancy spent 6 years as a flight nurse over Lake Powell in northern Arizona, and I cannot imagine that experience, both the beauty of it And knowing a little bit about some of the accidents that happened on that lake, kudos to Nancy. That's a rough gig. After that service, Nancy came to Flagstaff and worked at the Flagstaff Medical Center for 17 years. And while she was working for FMC, she returned to school and graduated with her Master of Science in Nursing from Grand Canyon University. Nancy spent the last 4 years of her career giving back to the students in our program. She taught in both the first and second year cohorts, and in her last year here worked as our skills lab coordinator and instructor, and was privileged to work with the students who are in this graduating cohort who nominated her as our keynote speaker. So, Nancy, no pressure, but we are so grateful to have you here tonight and look forward to hearing from you. Nancy Hagerman.
I'm afraid to disappoint here. Thank you, Dr. Sutherland. Thank you, nursing students, faculty, college staff, family, and friends who have helped this day become a reality. I am humbled and honored to speak with you. This is a day where we recognize and welcome our nursing students into the profession of nursing with the skills, practices, and ethical values that the profession encompasses. And students, your presence here today means you've successfully completed your nursing education. You learned a ton of new information, perfected dozens of psychomotor skills, along with analysis of how and where they should be used. You have learned and adopted a value system specific to the nursing profession. You've learned and practiced new interpersonal skills to be used with patients and other members of the healthcare team. You learned and practiced appropriate documentation of care. And all along the way, your faculty and preceptors hovered over you, critiqued everything you did to help you master the knowledge and skill set required of a professional nurse. Nursing school is demanding and intense, but you went through nursing school during a pandemic, a national emergency where everyone's safety and health were threatened, and your normal educational experience was transformed and seemingly ever-changing. It takes extraordinary people to want to go into nursing during this time of crisis and to have made it to this day. And I'm so pleased to see all 30 of you here today. For sure. You began in the fall of 2020 when COVID-19 cases were skyrocketing and scientists and companies were working at breakneck pace to develop vaccines, and CCC brought nursing and other students back to campus for in-person learning. We quickly realized in the previous semester, the spring of 2020, when teaching and learning had to occur remotely, that paramedic, fire sciences, nursing, and construction education could not be done effectively with remote modalities. And I just want to give kudos to CCC's leadership for their handling of everything that we had to follow, go through, cleaning, protective practices. I thought it was truly stunning. So thank you. You completed your studies this spring of 2022, successfully vaccinated, with COVID-19 cases falling and masks being recommended but optional. In between, there was a lot of upheaval. Some of you got sick. Family members got sick. You had to compete for bandwidth at home so you and your children could attend school. We were scared, hypervigilant, and challenged almost daily to teach and learn in this environment. But here you are, and you are stronger than you know. To get to this place has required persistence, adaptation, and resilience, which is what you asked me to speak about today. From the realm of physics, resilience is the ability of a substance or object to spring back into shape. It's the substance's elasticity. Resilience in the human realm is the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties. It is toughness. Psychologists define resilience as the process of adapting well in the face of adversity, trauma, tragedy, threats, or significant sources of stress, such as family or relationship problems, serious health problems, or workplace or financial stressors. As much as resilience involves bouncing back from these difficult experiences, it can also involve profound personal growth. While adverse events are certainly painful and difficult, they don't have to determine the outcome of your life. There are many aspects of your life you can control, modify, and grow with during a crisis, and that's the role of resilience. Becoming more resilient not only helps you get through difficult circumstances, it also empowers you to grow and even improve your life along the way. However, developing your resilience takes time and intentionality. Resilience doesn't just happen to you. There are practices you can consciously work on that can empower you to withstand and to learn from difficult and traumatic experiences. To increase your capacity for resilience, to weather and grow from difficulties, you should work on the following strategies, and this is recommended from the American Psychological Association. Number 1, build your connections to each other. Prioritize relationships. Connecting with empathetic and understanding people can remind you that you're not alone amid difficulties. Focus on finding trustworthy and compassionate individuals who validate your feelings. Join a group. It could be a hobby group. It can be an exercise group. It can be a book club. Number 2, foster your wellness. Take care of your body. This means proper nutrition, ample sleep, good hydration, and regular exercise. You often must do something before you feel the positive effects of it. Many times after a long, rough shift in the hospital, you think, I really should probably go for a hike, but you're not feeling it yet. And as you select where you're gonna go and you pack things into your backpack, you're still feeling like, I'm not feeling it. But you have to do the thing to feel the positive effects, so don't blow it off. Practice mindfulness. Mindful journaling, yoga, and spiritual practices like prayer or meditation can restore hope. When you meditate, journal, or pray, it's useful to focus on the positive aspects of your life, recall things you're grateful for, even when amidst hardship. Start your day before you get out of bed by reminding yourself of a few things you're grateful for. It changes your day. Avoid negative outlets. It is really tempting to mask your pain with alcohol, drugs, or other substances. It is easy to fall in with people who are eternally complaining or negative. I often fear that we're becoming a nation of complainers or people who always express their grievances. And it is really important to surround yourself with positive, helpful friends and colleagues. Number 3, find a purpose. The American Psychological Association says, help others, but this is the core of what you do. Be proactive. Acknowledge and accept your emotions during hard times. Sit with them for a minute before you react. And ask yourself, what can I do about a problem in my life? If problems seem too large, break them down into manageable pieces. And I remember at the beginning of the pandemic, my husband and I were trying to figure out, do we have a mask? Where can I find a mask? There were no masks to be found. So we went out to the shed out back, and we remembered that we had some ancient N95 masks that we used when we were using the leaf blower and doing yard work. We pulled them out of the shed. We wore them every day, feeling really confident that we had a mask, and they lasted for about a week. And I remember walking into Fry's, and I put mine on, and the straps broke. And I was devastated. I was like, what am I gonna do? So went back home and remembered that I'd heard about people, maybe in the community, from the newspaper, I believe, that were starting to sew masks, ladies in neighborhoods. And I had also seen some pretty funny memes on the internet about people making face masks with Krispy Kreme box tops and things like that. So I contacted a lady in University Heights, went over there, bought 3 or 4 masks from her, and I still have that mask because it was the first. And so the pandemic was a huge problem, but this was a minor victory that we could say, yep, we got us a mask, and this will work. Look for opportunities for self-discovery. After tragedy or hardship, people have reported better relationships and a greater sense of strength. That can increase a sense of self-worth and heighten your appreciation for life. Number 4, embrace healthy thoughts. Keep things in perspective. And how we think can play a significant part in how you feel. Identify areas of irrational or doomsday thinking, such as a tendency to catastrophize difficulties or assume the world is working against you or the world will end. I remember probably in the fall of 2020, right around the contentious election, and I was watching the news a lot, and I really started to get this doomsday mindset. We're all gonna die. This is horrible. So what did I do? I stopped watching the network news and only looked at news, just online or in the paper when I really needed to find something out. Because a lot of the news is geared to grab your attention, to make you look. And it is, definitely sensationalized. But that's not the way real life is. Remind yourself that what's happening to you isn't an indicator of how your future will go and that you're not helpless. I don't mean to say that none of you have faced a situation when you're at work and you're up to your elbows in problems and issues, and it just seems like you're slogging your way through mud. And you think to yourself, can this day get any worse? Try to flip your thinking around. What are the little things that I can make this, how can I make this day just a little bit better? I have a Cliff Bar in my bag I can offer to a friend who hasn't had lunch. Accept change, and accept that change is part of your life. Accepting circumstances that cannot be changed help you focus on circumstances that you can alter. Try very hard to maintain a hopeful outlook. Try visualizing what you want rather than worrying about what you fear. Know that eventually, whatever is going on, that this too shall pass. Nothing is permanent. Learn from your past. What did you do during prior difficulties or crises that were helpful and can be applied to this current crisis? Remind yourself of where you've been able to find strength, and ask yourself what you've learned from those experiences. And lastly, number 5, seeking help. Getting help when you need it is crucial to building your resilience, as sometimes we come to a place emotionally where the answers or tools to deal with a situation are not forthcoming. Seek out the assistance of a licensed mental health professional if you need to. This often is humbling, but incredibly helpful. So why is resilience essential for nurses? Nurses work in an environment where we are exposed to almost constant human suffering. The suffering from physical pain, from disability and loss, from the shock of life-altering diagnoses, and the struggles to regain health and functionality. It is our job to assist these patients and their families through these crises and help them heal. This requires tremendous emotional strength to do this day after day for an entire career. I often tell people who don't work in healthcare that nursing, especially with critically ill patients, is physically, intellectually, and emotionally challenging almost every day. We must reposition patients who are much heavier than ourselves and apply and manipulate heavy equipment as well as walk and stand on our feet for 12-hour shifts. We must calculate drug dosages and fluid therapies as well as apply the higher functions of analysis, like when to initiate certain interventions based on the patient's signs and symptoms. Nursing is far from just carrying out physician orders. Nurses are exposed to emotionally shocking situations, such as caring for victims of house fires, where the smell of the burned permeates our clothes and our hair. We care for victims of terrible crimes and accidents, as well as the perpetrators of terrible crimes, which can be much more challenging. We care for people who can be abusive and violent, as well as innocent victims of abuse and violence. I remember the day, January 5th, 1996. I was a flight nurse, and we were called east of Page, Arizona, to handle some patients of an automobile accident. When we landed on scene, it was our protocol to check in with the police officer that was first on scene and who had, started control of the situation and get a situational report from them. In this culture that we dealt with, it was very customary to shake hands. So we knew this young officer shook his hand, went to work, and handled the patients in the accident. Just after midnight on the 6th of January, we were called out again, middle of the night. There had been some kind of terrible crash, and the car belonged to a police officer. And so we lifted off in the dark of night, landed somewhere near the scene, and we got a situational report from the officers who had responded first. And they said, there's been a crash of a police car. We can't find the officer. And so we got in the ambulance of the jurisdiction that we were in, and were taken to the scene of the crash. And just from looking at the police car, I just knew that the officer had not been driving. It was a wreck, and he had left the roadway and ended up in a ditch. The car was totaled, and the police officer could nowhere be found. So the flight crew, we waited inside the ambulance for quite a while as the police and other searchers were looking all around the area for the officers. And then all of a sudden the radio crackled and said, "We found him." And we were initially elated, but then the radio went silent, which is very unusual. We hear chatter like, I've got the backboard and we've got the monitor and we want you guys to come here and there. It was completely silent. So we drove the ambulance to where they had found the officer, and we had a very sinking feeling that something wasn't right. When I jumped out of the ambulance, my vision went tunnel vision because I turned and I saw the officer laying on his back, lifeless, in the desert. He had been murdered. And it was the officer that I had shook his hand earlier in the day. I could feel the warmth of his hand as I had to approach him, and on the radio, patched with a base hospital and declared him dead. Nurses are present for births, which most of the time are very intense but joyful, and nurses are present when their patients die. We tread among the sacred moments in other people's lives. There are many, many joyful and rewarding moments in nursing. It is deeply satisfying to join a profession that is so important to the human condition and makes a positive difference for someone every single day. But this work is intense and can be emotionally depleting, and that is why resilience is an essential skill for every nurse. You need to proactively work on the things that develop and maintain your resilience. These are the things that restore your soul and recharge you. They help you come back and find the meaning in this work day after day. So, schedule that hike in the canyon. It doesn't need to be epic, but pencil it into your calendar and go do it. Go to that movie you've been wanting to see and call those upbeat and positive friends you haven't seen in a while. Toss the football with some friends. Go get the pedicure. Bust out the guitar and practice or just play it, just for the heck of it, even though you may suck. The dishes, laundry, and yard work can wait. Plant some flowers or vegetables or sow some seeds in a pot. Bust out that mountain bike and go for a ride. Go to the yoga class. Take your dogs for a walk, a run, or a bath. Go see some live music. Go to the gym. You cannot continue to give when there is nothing left. You cannot drink from an empty cup. I'd like to leave you with some words from Mother Teresa. There is a light in this world, a healing spirit more powerful than any darkness we may encounter. We sometimes lose sight of this force when there is suffering and too much pain. Then suddenly the spirit will emerge through the lives of ordinary people who hear the call and answer in extraordinary ways. You students are already extraordinary. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. I think we would all agree that you outdid your intro. It's now my privilege to turn the program over to our nursing faculty. First to our Interim Director of Nursing, Sherry Rudd, for the presentation of the Outstanding Student Award, and then to Catherine Costa, our former Director of Nursing and Allied Health, for the presentation of the pinning ceremony. Sherry.
Me again. But this is the last time I'm going to stand behind this and talk to you all. I'd like to take this opportunity, first of all, to congratulate you all. It's been a pleasure to be a part of your nursing journey, and I wish you all the very best. This year we did something a little bit different. We asked our nursing students to nominate another student who they thought stood out in a special way. The criteria that we asked them to look at could be based on academics, volunteerism, helping other students, or just something special that they found about the person. So this first ever nursing nominated outstanding student is Brittany Trasnadell. Surprise. So I'd like to just read a couple of things that your classmates shared about you. You have a little plaque. Some things that Brittany's classmates had to say were, Brittany, constantly goes above and beyond. She volunteers for events. She's brave and compassionate and managing so much of her life while killing it in school. Another is, Brittany worked so hard as a single mom of 4 kids to get here. She advocates against domestic violence and child abuse and volunteers for a women's group for survivors. Her goal is to help others always. I, too, have seen Brittany's devotion to caring this year. Last semester, when I first met Brittany, I asked her to step out of her comfort zone in 3rd semester and present to her class. That can be a very intimidating thing to do. Brittany did it with grace. She willingly shared her heart with us. She taught us. And since then, Brittany's gone on to present to other nursing groups as well. Congratulations, Brittany. Keep being brave.
We will now present the pens. Family and friends, if you want to take pictures, if you will do so over on the side so everybody can see the students who are being penned. And family members, you may line up. Brittany Adams. Pinning Brittany is her mother, Melissa Adams. Following graduation, Brittany will be moving to Phoenix to start her nursing career. She has accepted a position in the Neuro Rehabilitation Center at St. Joseph's Hospital and Medical Center. She plans to eventually return to school to continue her education. Brian Agnew. Pinning Brian is his daughter, True New Silver. The highway is for gamblers. Better use your sense. This summer, Brian will use his sense and head east on the highway towards the Blue Ridge Mountains in Roanoke, Virginia. There, when not hiking, boating, or sewing, he'll begin a career as a neurotrauma progressive care nurse. Lyra Bakiri. Pinning Lyra is her fiance, Dylan Williamson. Lyra plans to begin her nursing career at Flagstaff Medical Center in the surgical trauma ICU. She's looking forward to her wedding in a week, followed by a week in Jamaica for the honeymoon. Sarah Brimmer. Pinning Sarah is her son, Luke Johnson. After graduation, Sarah is looking forward to spending time with her son, Luke, and dog, Lambo. She would like to pursue a nursing job in critical care. She would like to thank all her fellow classmates for the care they provided her father. Sarah knows her dad is looking down on her from heaven and is very proud of her. Danielle Connell. Pinning Danielle is her fiance, Daniel Schwartzendruber. Danielle is starting her nursing career within the neonatal intensive care unit at Flagstaff Medical Center. She'll be graduating from Grand Canyon University with her BSN in December 2022. Her career goals are to one day become a neonatal nurse practitioner at a level 3 or 4 NICU. Victoria Dodery. Pinning Victoria is her mother, Nancy Mernon. Victoria plans to work at Flagstaff Medical Center on a medical surgical telemetry unit after graduation. She will take 6 months off school before beginning her bachelor's degree. Victoria's ultimate goal is to become employed at a surgery center so she does not have to work nights, weekends, or holidays. Jillian Garlington. Pinning Jillian is her husband, Eric Garlington, and daughter, Madeline. After graduation, Jillian will begin her career in the neonatal intensive care unit at Flagstaff Medical Center. She will also finish her master's in nursing, emphasizing in education this summer. She hopes to include finding more beneficial ways to care for the premature babies and their families within the northern Arizona community. Marette Gebhardt. Pinning Marette is her mother, Deborah Gebhardt. Marette doesn't know what she wants to do after graduation, and this is totally okay with her. Jamie Giblin. Pinning Jamie is her partner, Taylor Leyland. Jamie will start her nursing career at Flagstaff Medical Center, where she has been hired as a new graduate nurse in the medical intensive care unit. She is excited to have more free time so that hopefully her partner will treat her to a really exciting surprise graduation trip abroad, wink, wink. She plans one day to continue her education and return to school to earn her nurse practitioner degree. Alyssa Gonzalez. Pinning Alyssa is her mother, Regina Gonzalez. Alyssa plans to move to Phoenix to work in critical care. She plans to further her education and ultimately become a nurse practitioner. Wes Grove. Pinning Wes is his mother, Jill Plasman. After graduation, Wes is looking forward to spending some much-needed time outside around Flagstaff and surrounding areas. Wes has accepted a job in the cardiovascular intensive care unit at Flagstaff Medical Center and looks forward to learning and growing in his new role. Andrea Harrison. Pinning Andrea is her mother, Marjorie Shinnick. Andrea will begin her nursing career at Flagstaff Medical Center. She plans to continue her education to become a family nurse practitioner. She would like to remain in the Flagstaff area to help the community. Haley Honecker. Pinning Haley is Dagan Sandoval. Haley is moving to Boston to begin her new career as a nurse. She is hoping to get a trauma intensive care unit position at one of the prestigious hospitals in the Boston area. Ultimately, she wants to get as much education as possible and continue moving forward as a critical care nurse. Colleen Lansons. Pinning Colleen are her daughters, Olivia and Lucy Lansons. Colleen has accepted a registered nurse position at Flagstaff Medical Center. She plans to continue her education at Grand Canyon University. Ultimately, she plans to be a hospice nurse, providing care, comfort, and education to patients and their families at the end of life. Colleen wants to be an example to others. It's never too late to follow your dreams. Christine Matchers. Pinning Christine is her partner of 13 years, Erin Bahi. After graduating, she would like to start working on her Bachelor of Science in Nursing degree at Northern Arizona University and begin her nursing career where she can work on improving her nursing skills. Miranda Mayer. Pinning Miranda is her sister, Alicia Weiss. Miranda plans to start her career in Phoenix, Arizona. She plans to travel in the future before continuing her education. Her ultimate goal is to get her family nurse practitioner license and work in women's and reproductive health. Sarah Michael Plasman. Pinning Sarah is her father, Mark Plasman. Sarah has accepted an offer in the special care nursery at Flagstaff Medical Center. Sarah plans to receive her Master of Science in Nursing within the next 5 years. Lana Rich. Pinning Lana is her mother, Nancy Rich. After passing her NCLEX and receiving her nursing license, Lana plans on taking a break and spending time with family and friends, relaxing and enjoying some virgin pina coladas. Kelsey Ruby. Pinning Kelsey is her husband, Nicholas Ruby, and daughter, Charlotte. Kelsey plans to continue to work in critical care while continuing through her master's, Doctor of Nursing practice, and ultimately on to Certified Registered Nurse Anesthetist School in the future. She is moving to Phoenix, where she has accepted a position at a Level 1 neurotrauma unit. Josue Santana. Pinning Josue is his sister, Patricia Santana. Josue has accepted a job on the Medical Surgical Unit Humphreys at Flagstaff Medical Center. He plans on working hard and doing whatever his mom tells him to do. Elizabeth Sepulveda. Pinning Elizabeth is her daughter, Lexi Carnes. Liz is so excited to begin her nursing journey and will be starting as a new graduate in the emergency department. She looks forward to learning how to become an amazing nurse and hopes to become trauma certified in the next 2 years. Ultimately, Liz hopes to go back to school and obtain her acute care nurse practitioner degree once she has had adequate experience. Christopher Simpson. Pinning Christopher is his mother, Maria Simpson. Chris is planning to work at Flagstaff Medical Center in the emergency department. He plans to continue his education and become a psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner. After graduation, he is planning to spend time with his family. Rachelle Spielman. Pinning Rachelle is her partner, John Whitehorn. After graduation, Rachelle is looking forward to traveling to visit her family and spending time camping with her friends. She plans to start her nursing career at Flagstaff Medical Center and looks forward to working with many of her classmates. Kelsey Stager. Pinning Kelsey is her uncle, Terry Stager. Kelsey has received offers in Phoenix and Flagstaff and is currently deciding on where to further her education and training. Ultimately, her goal is to become a flight nurse. Mackenzie Taylor. Pinning Mackenzie is Adrian Poyer. After she graduates, Mackenzie accepted a nurse residency position in the intensive care unit at Christus in Tyler, Texas. Rachelle Tosie. Pinning Rachelle is her sister Vivian Bong. Rachelle plans to start her nursing career at Banner Desert Ridge on a progressive care unit. Her future goals are to become either a nurse practitioner or a perfusionist. She is excited to finally start her career to help people in need. Brittany Tresnadell. Pinning Brittany is her fiance, Ryan Smith. Brittany plans to start her nursing career at Flagstaff Medical Center. She will graduate from Grand Canyon University with her Bachelor of Science in Nursing degree this December. Her goals are to continue her advocacy work for shaken baby syndrome and domestic violence and to work as a forensic nurse. Tara Whitehair. Pinning Tara is her father, Ed Whitehair. Tara is enrolled in the concurrent program with Grand Canyon University and will continue after graduation to earn her Bachelor of Science degree in nursing. She hopes to return to the Navajo Reservation to be a labor and delivery nurse. She is looking forward to spending quality time with her children and hopefully traveling over the summer. Melanie Wright. Pinning Melanie is her husband, Ryan Wright. After graduation, Melanie plans on beginning her career as a pediatric intensive care unit nurse at Flagstaff Medical Center. Melanie is looking forward to spending her newfound free time with her husband and their dog, Missy. Her long-term goal includes earning a master's in nursing with an emphasis in public health. The nursing graduates will now present the Nightingale Pledge.
We would like to invite our graduating class to come forward for the candle lighting ceremony. Okay. History was made during the Crimean War when Florence Nightingale took 38 women to Turkey to nurse sick and wounded British soldiers. Floridan's Nightingale was the only woman allowed to nurse the men at night and became known as the Lady with the Lamp. As tribute to Florence's dedication, the lamp icon became symbolic of nursing. The lamp will always shine brightly as the symbol of care and devotion the nurse administers to the sick and injured in the practice of nursing. At CCC, our nursing students honor the dedication of Florence Nightingale and the generations of nurses to follow her, and symbolically carry the ideals for which she stood in this candle lighting portion of the pinning ceremony. I solemnly pledge myself before God and in the presence of this assembly to pass my life in purity and to practice my profession faithfully. I will abstain from whatever is deleterious and mischievous and will not take or knowingly administer any harmful drug. I will do all in my power to maintain and elevate the standard of my profession and will hold in confidence all personal matters committed to my keeping and in all family affairs coming to my knowledge in the practice of my calling. With loyalty, I will endeavor to aid the physician in his work and devote myself to the welfare of those committed to my care. Okay. What do we do? Before we begin our closing remarks, our class would like to give our teachers a gift for recognition for all of their help and wisdom throughout these years. So if we could get Sherry, Cecilia, and Adrian up to the stage in the middle, please. You're not done yet. And 2 bottles each. Thank you guys for everything that you do. We appreciate you. Now what? Now what? We blow them out. I don't know. Sherry, do we blow them out? Okay. Oh, okay. And Dr. Sutherland will be coming up, so we can all exit the stage back to our seats.
Okay, graduates, we just decided that you have a piece of homework tonight. You have to figure out what the word deleterious means, because you just promised. Well, we wanted to congratulate all of our graduates this year. But I want also to ask them to stand up for a moment and turn and face the audience and thank all of those who made this possible. Parents, children, spouses, significant others, family members. Please give them a round of applause. Thank you. You may be seated. Everybody's looking at me like, what do we do now? This is only the beginning of a lifelong journey, a journey of care and a journey of learning. One of the things that you find as a professional is that you must learn constantly from the things that you experience and the things that you do. And I invite you to make daily reflection a part of your practice so that you can become continuously better at what you do. Always be learning from the people around you, learning from the people you're with, learning from the people you love. There's always opportunities to learn. I want to repeat something that Nancy said that stood out to me. We, as nurses and healthcare professionals and as educators, this resonated with me. We tread among the sacred moments of other people's lives. I can't think of a better description of those who provide care. Like others who have mentioned, my life has been blessed by health caregivers. It's exciting here in Coconino County how many of our health caregivers are graduates from Coconino Community College. I was just talking to Wes, one of our security officers, who not too long ago had a pretty significant surgery. And he said, when I learned that those caring for me had been students at CCC, that I knew I was in good hands. So congratulations, and we look forward to that. Now, you also have a responsibility to others who follow after you. And I wanted to quickly read a poem that's been of significance to me. And I want you to think about how this applies to others in your life who are looking up to you. It could be friends, could be family members, could be children. This is called The Bridge Builder by Will Allen Dromgoole. An old man going on a lone highway came at the evening cold and gray to a chasm vast and deep and wide, through which was flowing a sullen tide. The old man crossed in the twilight dim. The sullen stream had no fear for him, but he turned when safe on the other side and built a bridge to span the tide. Old man, said a fellow pilgrim near, you are wasting your strength with building here. Your journey will end with this ending day. You never again will pass this way, which I'm sure some of you are thinking, woohoo, never again will pass this way. You've crossed the chasm deep and wide. Why build this bridge at the evening tide? The builder lifted his old gray head. Good friend, in the path I have come, he said, there followed after me today a youth whose feet must pass this way. This chasm that has been is not to me. To that fair-haired youth may a pitfall be. He too must cross in the twilight dim. Good friend, I am building this bridge for him. I invite you to be bridge builders for those who come after you. With that concludes our nursing pinning ceremony, but not entirely, so don't clap yet. I saw some people who were like, ooh, ooh. We do have refreshments for you. We invite you to join us. Just to point out the incredible importance of a college education, when we first got our cake, has anybody seen the Facebook thing called Cake Rex? Has anybody seen that Facebook channel? Okay, it's got great, fabulous examples of cakes gone wrong. Our cake was congratulations to CCC Noosing when it first arrived. We are happy to report that it was surgically corrected. But we invite you to join and mingle and enjoy some refreshments with us. Congratulate the graduates. And thank you so much for being here, for being part of Coconino Community College and being a part of our community. Let's give the graduates one last round of applause.